And today we got another great guest on the show. He goes by the name of Lil Kelpy.
Yes, sir. Lil Kelpy, a.k.a. Kelpy the P. Matter of fact, call me whatever you want. Just don't call me broke.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, bro, I appreciate you coming in and stuff like that.
Most definitely, bro. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, I got a new boy up in the internet game, blowing up real quick in the past couple of months and stuff like that.
The goal, yeah. Just, you know what I'm saying, trying to make this entertainment thing happen.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, it's hard coming from like a position where you're not known at all, you don't have any connections, and then just kind of having to do all the networking on your own and stuff like that. But it's been working out pretty quick. So.
Yeah, hell yeah. Obviously, everyone got your name in their mouth recently.
that's facts. I mean, obviously, there's been a few like super viral incidents that have happened that really like projected me a lot. Obviously, the no jumper fight thing. Yeah. But yeah, just you know, what I'm saying other podcasts have been popping up on and stuff like that too.
Yeah, obviously, it just takes a couple of things to get your name out there, and people gonna wanna like. You know, start messing with you a little bit and then just take it from there.
Exactly.
Obviously working for you right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just like I said, I'm trying to keep. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. I always like wanted shit that I couldn't afford or my family couldn't afford for me. So I think I started like really shoplifting and stealing shit and like cracking cars and all that when I was probably like, I want to say like 13, 14 years old. But I actually got my first felony when I was 15. I just did a YouTube video about that, but. Yeah, I'd say I've always kind of been, you know what I'm saying, down the wrong path. I'm trying to turn that around, but yeah, for most of my life.
Damn.
And yeah, I got in a fight. This kid started a fight with me. He came up and necked me. And then I basically like put him in a headlock and slammed his head against the wall, choked him out. He got knocked out. And they actually asked me if I wanted to press charges on him because he started the fight. But since I had already been suspended so many times for other shit, and they just expelled me. And then I finished high school online, got my diploma a little bit later than everybody else, but... You know what I'm saying? I graduated.
Yeah, for sure. So
cool.
were you like always a troublemaker growing up in school? So what did you start up during like COVID?
I was trapping. I started.
Yeah.
I was trapping like since I was like 14. Basically just like, you know, weed and shit like that. But I really started getting on my grind during COVID because everyone was stuck at home. They wanted to, you know, do the things that they do when they're bored, stuck at home. So I started, you know what I'm saying? Started getting rich during COVID.
Started being that delivery man.
Yeah, basically.
That driver.
I mean, yeah. And actually, I still don't even got my driver's license, but I had I'm on my 5th car right now. Never had a license, but
Damn.
I had 4 cars during COVID because I was just switching whips every time. I would just buy cheap cars, and I would just switch whips, you know what I'm saying? Crash one, buy another one. One gets towed or impounded because it don't got registration. And so they wasn't really catching on to me. But then after that happened, COVID, and I started getting bigger, I actually did get raided. They took $20,000 from my apartment. A whole bunch of drugs. They tried to say I was drug dealing or something. Obviously, I've never broken the law in my life, but they tried to say I was drug dealing. They found some burners and some other shit. And yeah, I mean, I never got a case from it, but fingers crossed that it's not like a pending investigation or something like that.
Yeah. It's like so-called pimp game. How do you feel about like? Because normally people view pimps as like, you know, like these like smooth talkers, these homies, these like super homies dress up in like all like the like silk and stuff like that.
Alligator shoes and everything.
You know, people, they see you and they're like, nah, this don't really like look like the type of guy. And they also be mentioning the fact that like, oh, doing this OnlyFans stuff ain't really pimping and stuff like that. How do you feel about like when people say that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm going to have haters regardless of, you know, what I am doing behind the scenes or in front of people. But I'll never be the type of person that goes and fully shows everything I'm doing, every move I'm making just to prove something to somebody because I don't really have nothing to prove to anyone. But like I said, I was in the game before I started OnlyFans. That was just like some game given to me by a bigger homie that I met after I started popping off. That was like, yo, you're in the game. You know how to do this shit. Get into OnlyFans. I'll show you the ropes of that and you can learn from there. But, you know, I was pimping before I was on OnlyFans or any of those other sites and shit like that. Yeah.
You're just saying like, yeah, I know what I've been doing. It don't matter if you go talk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cause like my pockets are still getting filled regardless, and obviously them hating on me is just paying me even more. It's a fully legal source of money too, YouTube and all that. But yeah, no, I'm getting money off what I'm doing behind the scenes, and they don't really have to know that. They don't have to believe that. They can call me a wannabe or a fake or whatever, but it doesn't hurt my feelings at the end of the day.
Yeah. So you still doing it right now?
Allegedly, I mean, technically, yeah. I do what I gotta do to get money, you know. But like I said, I've never broken the law in my life. I never will, as far as I know, unless it's like a speeding ticket or something. But yeah, I do what I gotta do to get money. Because like I said, times are tough. I'm not fully in the entertainment industry to the point where I can just live off that. So I gotta do what I gotta do behind the door. You know?
Was there like one situation that like sent it off to where like, oh, I can't be like living in these households anymore?
Yeah. So actually, when I got raided, I was staying with my parents at the time. I had my 2 girls living with me as well. And we got evicted right after the raid because the apartment people, it was some Section 8 housing. As soon as the police get involved in like a narcotics raid, it's grounds to kick them out. So my family got evicted. And that was around the time my parents were splitting up as well. It was pretty recently, about a year ago. So my mom went and did her thing. She was living at like a shelter type shit, like not a full on homeless shelter, but like a community funded like apartment that she shared with another family. And so I wasn't able to live with her because she didn't want me living with her since I was, you know what I'm saying, doing what I was doing in the streets. Mm-hmm. And then my dad was just really in debt and raising all the kids. So he finally did get an apartment. And now I'm just kind of like, you know, living on my own type shit, but still trying to be there for him. I got to, you know, babysit my little siblings a lot. I got to help him out with bills and shit like that just so he doesn't get caught up because I don't want to see my little siblings ending up in the same position that I was in for a minute. Yeah. As they was catching on to me. I don't know if it was like they had me wiretapped on my phone or if people were talking too much. And I think my name was just getting too big and my alleged activities were getting too big that they eventually caught on. I got hit with a no-knock raid, but trying to move past that, you know. Just life goes on, you know. I lost a lot of money, lost a lot of property, but it is what it is, you know. I knew the risks when I was doing what I was doing.
Yeah. So around this time when like that happened, is that when like you started getting into like the pimping and stuff like that?
Yeah, honestly, as soon as I was in it a little bit before. I'd say more hoe hustling and shit like that, just like living off females and stuff like that. But when my like, you know what I'm saying, my source of income from that ended, I was like, well, I need to find something else to do here. So I really started taking the ism more seriously. And then it kind of just turned into my primary hustle. That's when I realized, like, yo, there's so many different outlets within the game that aren't really, like, just the game. I'm on my hands, not a lot, but I got some time. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What's one thing that you could name that people will be surprised to know about you?
One thing people will be real surprised to know about me is that I'm Hispanic. A lot of people think that I'm just a white boy. They see me. I feel like I've mentioned it so many times now, but I feel like people are still going to be surprised to know that. But yeah, I'm Mexican. I am, like, I got some white in me, but I'm Mexican. I grew up under Mexican culture in a city that's predominantly Hispanic. My mom was born and raised in Michoacan in Mexico. So I grew up in a Spanish-speaking household. I grew up going to Mexico a lot, to my mom's hometown and my grandma's hometown and shit like that. But yeah, it shocks a lot of people because I don't look it at all.
I want to know what your name like came from, where it originated from, what it means.
Oh yeah, okay. So Kelpy is a character from SpongeBob, Kelpy G. It's like a parody of Kenny G, the jazz musician.
Oh yeah.
And so when I was in middle school, I was basically just making music and shit like that. And I was kind of like, you know what I'm saying, inspired by my friend to start making music. And since my real name is Kenny, he started calling me Kelpy because that dude makes music in SpongeBob. And yeah, it was all over from there. I just kind of ran with that, you know? Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, I mean, there was no, like, real street thing behind it either. It was just, like, my homie gave me the nickname in middle school. I liked it. Sounded like my real name, so, you know, ran with it.
So it's named after some seaweed?
Pretty much, yeah. And I used to smoke a lot of Kush back in the day, too, so, hey, it matched up, you know?